Every year, thousands of innocent people fall victim to unscrupulous contractors who prey on the elderly, the vulnerable, and the stupid. These greedy builders stop at nothing to bleed every possible cent in their marks. Several clients complain about shoddy workmanship, incomplete work, poor finish work, substandard materials, and costs that always seem to climb far above the estimate. And that's not the whole story. Many have other jobs. Some even work for charitable agencies where their scheming takes from those who can afford it least. We caught up with one such con artist who portrays himself to be a competent, ethical, honest contractor. Come with us to visit Mr. Busy, fly-by-night contractor.
How does this contractor, confidence man work? Generally, he tries to earn the confidence of people who regard him as a friend, and then mention that they ought to have some work done on their house. That, gee, a room would look nice here, or an extra furnishing would look nice there. And he earns their confidence. He's a confidence man. Here he's seen talking with some friends that he wants to do some work for. Let's listen in.
Notice the junk. Notice the disarray and disrepair of this place. It will be transformed.
When?
When you're talking to an artist, you don't put that kind of pressure on them.
He generally portrays himself as a real expert, a true artist.
How long did it take to paint the Sistine Chapel? How long did it take to build the pyramid? The Sphinx? Look like we've done a lot yet. It's all pretty much been brain work, right, Rod? A lot of calculating, a lot of technical stuff.
But if he's pressed hard enough, sometimes he will reveal the true nature of his scheming and conniving, his elaborate plots to take money from friends, acquaintances, and anyone else.
There's one born every minute. Who said that? And there's sheep and there's wolves. Money is no object. Why do you keep sticking it in my face?
Was Lou Shagawat, a social worker at the Children's Home and longtime friend and associate of Mike Benjamin.
I've known Mike now for about, I'd say, almost a year. He was one of the first people here at Randolph Children's Home to befriend me. But boy, let me tell you, this past year I've learned a lot about Mike Benjamin. Let me give you an example. I requested that Mr. Benjamin build me a small box which I could keep some candy in for the children. Let me show you this box. This is what Mike Benjamin made for me. Now at first it looks really quite attractive, but if you look closely, notice the ends. I specifically requested that he build me a nice box with miter joints. Instead, I get butt joints. Nail holes right through the face, not filled in. And take a look at this. This is the best part of all. Look at the wood, filled with wormholes. This is Mike Benjamin. This is the typical Mike Benjamin.
What's in the box, Lou?
Nothing. Nothing. Simply because the gummy bears that I normally keep in there for the children who don't get much candy, Mr. Benjamin seems to eat all the time. So, that's the way I'll leave it, because each time I fill it, Mr. Benjamin's in my office, just eating all the candy.
Is there anything else that you can tell us about Mike Benjamin?
Well, it is hard for me to talk about. You know, I really thought he was my friend, and I'm just finding out more and more that he's just no more than a low-down loser. He's constantly referring to my ethnicity with really rude remarks. He drew me this wonderful picture of a very sincere, good-looking Syrian, which I am, but he refers to me as a raghead. Well, the fact of the matter is, I seem to understand where he's coming from, and it's just jealousy, because without my oil, he'd be nowhere. So I really don't have much else to say about Mr. Benjamin. He's worked here with me for about a year. He pretends to be a social worker here at Randolph when what he really is supposed to be a woodworker, but we can all see what kind of a woodworker he is, huh? God, I don't know. Well, I wish him a lot of luck.
Joe Cara at the Randolph Children's Home. What can you tell us about Mike Benjamin, Joe?
Mike Benjamin? Yeah, I used to see Mike all the time out here in the hallway and in the office. Seemed like a pretty nice fella, decent sort of fella. Then we started noticing things missing from the orphans' home. Things like whole window cases, furniture, office supplies, vehicles, lumber, anything that wasn't nailed down. Now I'm hearing that he's mocking my Italian heritage, behind my back no less. That really gets my dago up. What are we going to do with Mike? And what else is cooking with Mike?
I don't know. John and Karen Davis are yet another victim of Mr. Busy Contractors. John, what can you tell us about your experience with Mr. Busy Contractors?
Well, Morley, I consider myself a fine, upstanding member of the community. I work in a children's agency, and I hired Mr. Busy on referral from another prominent member of the community. Mr. Busy came to my house 8 months ago and quoted me a very, very good price for work that he was going to do on my fireplace mantle. At the time, he told me that he would totally remodel the fireplace mantle, that he would use fine oak wood, and that the price would be approximately $200. Since that time, Mr. Busy contacted me. He told me that due to the fact that the squirrels have been rapidly growing, the population of squirrels has, and they've eaten so many acorns that the price of oak has really risen. And for that reason, he told me that the fireplace mantle would now cost approximately $8,000 to finish. And so we have been almost 8 months without a fireplace mantle at this point in time. It really bothers me, you know, that I can't get a piece of work done for a price that I was quoted.
Is there anything else? Didn't you receive a letter or something from Mr. Busy?
Yes, I did. As a matter of fact, the other day I received a letter from Mr. Busy, and it looks like he stole the stationery from the children's home. And I'd like to just show the viewing audience a copy of the letter, if you don't mind. Would that be okay?
No, please, please.
Okay.
I regret to inform you that due to skyrocketing oil prices, I will be unable to finish the work I began on your baby's nursery. I'm sorry about the unfinished wall, but at the rate we contracted, I just won't be able to do any more work. By the way, I also need $11,000 to pay for materials already installed in your home. The actual cost was slightly above the $2,500 I originally quoted. Please pay promptly before I'm forced to contact the collection agency. Signed, Mike Benjamin. Just
Yes,
amazing.
yes, Mr. Reasoner, I would like to say that, again, this letter I feel is quite unfair, and I hope that you'll be able to achieve some justice with this situation and bring Mr. Busy to justice.
That's what we're here for.
Thank you very much for allowing me to speak with you.
Randy and Susan Holbert are some of the lucky ones. They almost got involved with Mr. Busy Contractors. Tell us what happened, Randy.
Well, I got in touch with Busy Contractors. My wife's pregnant and we're going to have a baby. Spoke with Mike on the phone and told him what I wanted for the child's room, and he assured me that there would be no problem. He was going to have this finished before the baby was born. I contacted him a number of times, left messages, no return. I then spoke with Mr. Davis, and he showed me this letter. At this point, my son is sleeping in a dresser drawer. My wife and I are very upset. I have written to the Better Business Bureau. They have stated that they also have other complaints regarding the Busy Contractor. I don't know. At this point, I have called my lawyer. We are in the process of a lawsuit. I do have a written contract from him stating that he would complete the work. I did put $2,000 down. He has my money and has not returned my calls. I think it's a sham, and we will take legal action.
Thanks, Randy. Mr. Busy's victims are people that he did services for. Some people are victims of Mr. Busy just through circumstance. Sandy Martin's talking to us from her hospital bed. Sandy?
Yes, is that you? Is that you?
Yep.
Okay.
Can you tell us what happened?
I'll try. It's 2:30 a.m. I've just had a shot of morphine. I don't know how good this is going to be. I can tell you that I was seeing the family of one of our orphans, and I was out in this country home, and come to find out that I fell down these people's steps, and these steps, as I understand it, we have to find out from my lawyer who built these steps. I've engaged the services of Joel Hyatt, and he assures me that I'm going to receive possibly up to $1 million if we can find who built these steps, because they're considered faulty. So I'm laying here, and I'm in pain, and I'm frustrated, and I'm being treated by the nefarious Dr. Yoi. You may know or not know about this doctor, but anyway, my life is a shambles because of these steps. And I just want to make this statement. I just want to make this clear. My life is ruined. I can't work. I can't walk. And I'm on drugs. Let's face it. I've become addicted to painkillers. And my lawyer is even looking into whether or not I have to go to Betty Ford if this continues to get over my addiction to painkillers. So this is
Sandy, we've done a little digging, and we've talked with your insurance adjuster, and your insurance adjuster assures us that he has proof positive that those steps were built by Mr. Busy contractors. What does that tell you? What do you think about that?
Well, this makes sense. The family I was visiting, they know this man. They know the man that's behind this Busy contractor. Apparently he was associated with them, did some work with them in the past. And there's some mysterious stuff about this connection, because the Busy contractor man used to work with the man that owns this house. And something happened there. I don't know. They were so shook up when they were telling me about this guy that they really didn't tell me the whole story.
Well, we hope you get to the bottom of it.
All right. Well, my lawyer will.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
We're going to talk for our cameras, unless we took measures to protect her identity. She seems to be afraid that Mike Benjamin would try to get back at her. Can you tell us what happened with Mike Benjamin?
Yes, I too have been deeply hurt by Mike Benjamin. My fiance has been in the Persian Gulf for 6 months, and Mike Benjamin promised me that he would have a cedar chest finished by the time he got home. Well, I put $150 down payment on it, and I still haven't heard anything about it. And now my fiance's home, and he has no gift. And I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just so deeply depressed and hurt about it.
Another sad tale about Mr. Busy contractors. Thank you.
I'll tell you what I know, Mr. Reesner. Well, Mr. Benjamin. I'll try to keep it short. I grew up with Mike, and he's always been a little shady on things. I know in school, he was kind of an embarrassment to hang around with, so I really didn't pay too much attention to him. Since I've worked here, people in Salamanca, they know all about him. They know of his shady deals and everything, and they know that I work with him, and he's kind of an embarrassment to me. His high prices and his finagling and putting it to people on his contracts and stuff. I really try to stay clear of town for fear that somebody might just take it out on me. I'd like to be friends with him and go fishing, but even that's a dangerous move for me. I can't take that chance. Probably not so much for me, but for my wife, and I still have a boy at home, and it's just too scary. That's about it without really digging up dirt on him.
We thought, since you've heard about Mr. Benjamin, that maybe it would be a good idea for you to see exactly what his work looks like. As you can see, this is our family room that he built for us in our basement. When Mr. Benjamin started, he told us he didn't want us to come down here for a few weeks because he wanted to surprise us, and he thought it would look really nice. And finally, after about 8 weeks, when it was supposed to be finished, we couldn't stand it any longer. And we came down in the basement, and this is what we saw.
Yeah, he was supposed to be a friend that we could count on. And, you know, I trusted him. And this is what hurts us, that he would pull this, you know, that he got the stairway in, but that took him weeks. And now he just has a friend. We haven't seen him for weeks now.
And things like, you know, the stairway, he started out by telling us that he could build us these beautiful oak stairs and gave us a price of $200. And we said, sure, go ahead and build us the oak stairs. And the next week it was, well, gee, I'm sorry, but it's going to be double that. You know, I underestimated the cost of the wood. And these little things have been going on right along, and everything seems to keep going up in price, and we keep giving him money, and we don't seem to be seeing anything for that.
He started out by saying he could do this job easily. Then he had to have this pipe taken out and that pipe done, and it's really cost us a fortune. And you know, I'm not sure if we can afford this now. You know, we're having trouble feeding our kids at this point.
Randolph, New York, where Sheila and Tyler Searle are building, or rather, should I say, they're hoping that Mike Benjamin and Mr. Busy Contractors will build a home for them. Sheila, can you tell me about your and Tyler's experiences with Mr. Busy Contractors?
Yes, Morley, we're building a house, like you say, down the road here, and we've done most of the outside work ourselves. Now, we've paid Mike Benjamin up front to finish the inside of the house for us, and we were supposed to have been in by Christmas of last year, and we're still nowhere near moving in. We've saved for 7 years to build this house, and it's not coming along as we'd expected, nor as was promised to us.
Okay. Where are we? Are we right? Here we are right now.
This is it. This is the driveway here.
Uh-huh. Driveway looks like it could use a little bit of gravel or something.
Yeah, it sure could. I think we're going to have to walk from here. I don't want to bottom out your car.
Tyler's place. As you can see, the house isn't anywhere near ready to move in as was promised. What do we have here? What do we see here, Sheila?
Well, this is mostly what Tyler and I have done.
Uh-huh.
The outside was our project, and the inside was Mr. Busy's.
Uh-huh. Okay, so...
We've done most of everything that has to be done outside, and we're just waiting. This is where we have our basement, and as you can see, nothing's finished. There's debris laying everywhere. Our pipes above the hot water tank end at the hot water tank.
You don't have any running hot water?
No, nor running cold water at this point.
No running.
Our drains end, as you can see, the white pipe sticking down. It just ends there.
Uh-huh.
There's no place for it to go.
Uh-huh.
As we walk this way, we had to tear the stairs out and redo them at our own expense because Mike did them too steep and they wouldn't pass inspection. As you can see against the wall, the electrical box isn't finished. It's wide open and probably a fire hazard. And as we go up the stairs, watch your head. This is
Why is that way?
well, because when Mike built the stairs, he built this too low. So we have to cut part of that out so you don't hit your head on it.
You built it for midgets, huh?
Yeah. Something like that. We're in the bathroom in the new house, and as you can see, nothing's finished around the bathtub, and it's not hooked up anywhere. We have no vanity or sink, and this hole over here on the floor is, you guessed it, where
No
Be nice if that carpenter would show up, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
and that's my husband in the background. He's a little irate.
He sounds angry. I was
Yes,
going to mention
yes,
that.
he is. There's the sink laying there that should be hooked up already.
And what's the story? Here you've got a saw. It looks like somebody's doing some work here. What's the story behind
Yeah,
this
somebody
saw?
has to do some work. Trying to rely on that carpenter she hired. Type she'd never get anything done around here.
Well, there's a story behind this saw, too. Mike told us that if we purchased this saw, we would move up the dates on the construction because his saw was supposedly somewhere else. And then at the end of the construction, that he would take the price of this off of what he would charge us. And as of yet, Mike hasn't used it. My husband's been using it to build the house.
Mike don't know how to use it.
And
He slammed his finger in it when he tried.
and we haven't received any money for it either. And as you can see, this is supposed to be a bedroom, and it's just used for storage right now.
Well, what's the deal here, Sheila?
Well, we've had to hire another electrician to cover for Mike from Busy Bees because he didn't finish it, and we do need electricity to move in. And we'd hoped, of course, like I said, to move in by last Christmas, but Mike is just not moving along, so we've had to hire somebody else.
Now, Mike's known for his cabinet work. Well, what's going in up here?
Oh, yeah, that's about it that he's done on the cabinets. No doors, no sink, no cupboard tops. No, the floor isn't finished, as you can see. The door in the front and the door in the back aren't finished. Nothing is completely any one project done. This is the living room. As you can see, the ceilings aren't finished. If you shoot up into the loft, you can see that all we have are studded walls and nothing more. That bedroom was also supposed to be complete for us to move in. Our flooring is piled here on the floor, but it's not laid down like it's supposed to be.
You've got a ladder going up into your loft. Let's take a look at... What's the story up here?
Well, Brad, this is the ladder that was supposed to be circular stairway, but hasn't been completed, so we're crawling up and down on this ladder to get everything done when we need to work upstairs.
Did you specify a circular stairway in your...
Yes, we did. And it's laying in the basement.
What would happen if somebody were to walk out this door here? Aren't there supposed to be steps?
I think we'd be sued, Brad.
All right. Were there supposed to be steps put here?
Yes, there were. Cement steps poured.
Cement steps. And did Mr. Busy said that they do that?
Yes. And should have been done long ago.
Here under where the kitchen sink goes, huh?
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
but this is our new wood stove, and we're supposed to have stonework done all behind it and underneath it, and none of that's been completed, and we haven't even seen the stones for it.
What kind of stones did he say he was going to put in?
He said he was going to put in some field stones, which he was going to charge us for, and he was going to go collect them himself, but we haven't seen anything. And we've paid for them. Brad, these are the circular stairs that I was telling you about, and as you can see, they're in pieces and parts, and they're not put together, and they're not what we specified at all. Green carpet is not what I wanted for stairs.
Oh, boy. Was the carpet extra at cost?
Yes, it was.
Oh.
I specified blue carpet, and I got green.
Have you tried anything to get your money back from Mr. Busy?
Oh, we've tried to call him several times, but his number's been changed twice, and there's no forwarding address, and now it's unlisted. So I feel that there's really no recourse. We have no idea what to do next.
When was the last time you did any work here?
The middle of February, and here it is the middle of April already.
He's certainly got a lot to cover up here.
Yes, he does.
Tom Kane is the head of maintenance at the Randolph Children's Home, where Mike Benjamin spends at least some of his time. Tom, is there anything you can tell us about your experiences with Mike Benjamin over the past 2 years?
Well, I don't want to hold bar any doors. I didn't trust him right from the beginning. Mike will come in, he's got to talking small talk. He thought he was a fisherman, so I went fishing with him, went out on his boat, and the poor guy puts his worms on his hook upside down. You can't trust him. And then he says, "You want to go jigging for walleyes?" I said, "Sure." We end up at Crawdaddy's in Chippewa. So you can't trust the guy. He says, "You mind if I come into your shop and use some of your woodworking tools?" I said, "No, Mike, come on in and help yourself." Well, they're all missing. My table saw is gone, my radial arm saw is gone. I don't know what he's doing with them. Well, I just hope he gives me his boat when he goes to jail.
Acquaintance of Mike Benjamin, whose opinion we thought you also might like to hear. Mark, what do you have to say about Mike?
Well, Morley, I was really quite surprised when I heard a lot of the other stuff that these people were saying. I have nothing but respect for Mike Benjamin. I find him to be personable, I find him to be friendly, and I would trust him with my life. I just can't understand why these other people feel this way.
How long have you known Mike Benjamin?
Well, I met him 2 weeks ago when he borrowed $100 from me.
He was a real nice guy then, huh?
Wonderful guy, and he still is.
Has he paid you back yet?
No, but he said he'd be able to soon.
Well,
So.
thanks for your differing opinion.
You're welcome.
The sad news for those people that Mike Benjamin owes money to is that April 11th, 1991, Mike Benjamin declared bankruptcy. That's all there is to this story. We just hope that nobody else will get caught into this kind of a scam. Oh, by the way, happy birthday, Mike. We all love you anyway.